go to YouTube. Just check if we're on. And we are here on a live stream for you today. Coffee and Crypto. I'm Rob.
And this is Nick.
And we are experiencing a Bitcoin crash right now. So we're sitting at $18,900 for the Bitcoin price. And we're like in a bear flag of bear flags here. So we're going to talk about the charts, technical analysis, relevant news on and anything related to why we think Bitcoin is crashing right now. So Nick, why don't you start us off with the charts and tell us what you're seeing?
All right. If you have watched our last few market updates, we continually go to this bear flag that we're seeing right here. It looks like we are starting to break to the downside. There's several reasons that we're going to discuss that Rob has been watching in the news that could have caused this breakdown. We've gotten below this very key level of 19,600. Once that broke, that kind of gives me confirmation that we're going to be at least retesting this low of 17.5 and possibly go lower. It really depends on what we see in the news. So this is the most bearish scenario that I can see, at least in the short term. However, it can also be a good opportunity if you're dollar cost averaging. I want to accumulate some more Bitcoin or altcoins. The other technical thing that I wanted to talk about in this stream is the Bitcoin dominance. We don't typically talk about the Bitcoin dominance a lot on this channel. However, I just wanted to bring it up to show you guys, if we zoom out a little bit, we have been tapping this. So actually, to explain what Bitcoin dominance is for those of you who don't know, it is the percentage of the market capitalization of Bitcoin relative to the rest of the market. So we're sitting right here at 39%. So that means Bitcoin, all of the money market cap that's in Bitcoin makes up 39% of the market. The other 60% is altcoins. So what this is telling me is we've had a big fall in the Bitcoin dominance over the last couple months, and we're breaking the previous lows. We're making lower lows. So that means to me that money is flowing from Bitcoin to the altcoins. It could be a sign of strength for altcoins, especially since we have the Ethereum merge coming up in a couple weeks. There's also some news with XRP bringing NFTs online in the next week or so. So this could be positive. It's kind of negative for Bitcoin because for two reasons. The Bitcoin dominance is falling and breaking new lows, and also we are breaking bearish in the bear flag. So Rob, you want to talk a little bit about the news events that have happened over the last week or so that might have caused this breakdown in Bitcoin?
Yeah, let's go back to the Bitcoin chart first. Yeah, so another bear flag, and let me grab the pointer here. So this is like one major bear flag, and then we had this mini bear flag here, and then we're in this next mini bear flag, which looks like it's breaking to the downside and could possibly retest that low of 17 and change. But if we zoom out, why don't you zoom us out, Nick? We've just been continuously bear flagging and going lower. Oops. It's just been continuous bear flags. So if you were to look at what happened on the previous bear flags, you can kind of infer what could potentially happen here. So we'll give you our price predictions in a moment. First, I wanted to discuss some news that may be affecting crypto and kind of shaking out the market, adding in some fear, uncertainty, some doubt, some FUD, as we like to call it. There's a lot that's going on in the macro across the world, geopolitical events. So I'm just going to read off a couple things that happened just alone today. So first we have, let's see what we got here. So we have Fauci coming out and saying that we're going to need updated COVID vaccinations and more frequent boosters. So, the whole COVID thing still hasn't gone away. That's this kind of happened last year where we had the fear of it coming back, it surging again, people being protected or not with the vaccines. So I think that just kind of like adds some fear, uncertainty, doubt, because, if there's another rise in cases and things shut down, how will that affect the economy? And no one wants to go through that again. The next one was Russian oil giant Gazprom taunts the West with a video showing Europe freezing over. And this is kind of them like taunting Europe to show them what's going to happen this winter based on everything that's going on over there. There's skyrocketing energy prices. It's becoming, unlivable to afford these prices. And then you have the whole Russia-Ukraine conflict going on and them controlling all the energy and using that as a tactic to basically get their way with the European countries. So that's concerning. And then on top of that, with the energy prices becoming so unaffordable, you have people and countries and communities and towns and cities. There's civil unrest, there's riots, there's protesting going on in Europe because it's just becoming unaffordable, and they want the government to step in and to do something. So imagine if energy, to turn on your lights or to heat your house was so unaffordable, like you just couldn't heat your house. Like, what do you do then? People are going to riot, protest, and there's going to be civil unrest. So that's happening in Europe right now. And then on top of that, today in California, a couple of days ago, they had, they put out some, emergency notice basically saying you got to throttle back your electricity usage because we could potentially see some power grid problems if people don't throttle back, because for whatever reason, they just can't handle the demands right now. And then today, California declares a level 3 grid emergency, which is essentially one step away from rolling power outages. So imagine that. So it actually says, consumers advised to be prepared for possible outages. So, you're in California, everything's going good. You're green energy, you're solar, you're driving your Tesla, and now everyone's overloading the grid and could be potentially we're talking about like power blackouts. What do you do then? So a lot of things just causing fear, uncertainty, doubt in the market. Could this be affecting the price today? It could. I don't know for sure. There's no way to tell for sure, but we did have a pretty steep sell-off, and we're already sitting at these lows of like 19, 20,000. So let's get into our predictions. I'll just, cap off my thoughts with all this. I think we're in a very sensitive period of time where, these events keep popping up, and it's like, the one domino leads to the next. So I do think like what happens in California, like if they can't control that, then they're gonna have power outages. Like, we've never heard of that really happening in recent times. So imagine if California goes freaking blackout and Europe is freezing to death in the winter. I mean, these are all worst case scenarios, but we're like one step away from certain things. Or what if, COVID comes back with a vengeance and things are locked down again. So we're kind of like one step away from a lot of scenarios that could really shake the markets. So if something does happen, or the next step happens for one of these things, these are only like 3 pieces of news that have happened recently, just to keep it short. But where does that put us with Bitcoin and the markets? Apparently, there's a lot of buy orders around the $14,000 range in the order books on the exchanges. So that is the target for the big buyers and everyone who's being proactive. 14,500 is not that far away. So that's like pretty realistic. Can we get to 10,000? I think something really bad has to happen for us to get to 10,000. So I think it would be unlikely. But if we are going to continue this bear trend, this bear flag, and break to the next leg down, I think that 15,000 range is likely. I don't see us going up right now, especially with all the inflation, the dollar index is going up. All the political stuff going on, war, just everything going on. I don't see us going up. Who knows? We may just end up in another bear flag until the market kind of waits to see what direction goes. But, eventually we'll make a move. We have more data coming out, CPI, inflation, interest rates. So we will see. Nick, why don't you give us your predictions, and then we'll see if we got any comments.
Sounds good. Like I said before, we did break this bear flag. However, we do still have that support. So I'm gonna zoom in a little bit here because that looks like hardly anything. I think the most likely scenario in this case is we're going to at least go down and test this support at 19,000 or 17,600 was the previous low. If that breaks, then I could see a lot of people panic selling and maybe getting a wick down to 14,000 to hit all of those, all the liquidity down there. So when that will happen, I have no idea, and it's just the highest likelihood at this point. However, we still do need to close this daily candle. We're still about an hour away from closing the daily candle. If we stay down here, I would say the most likely scenario is testing the low here at 17.6, and then we'll have to see what happens after that. You got anything else to say, Rob?
Let's see if we have any comments here. Any YouTube comments? No, we don't, but that is all right. So why don't we wrap it up here? Go back to the chart. Last thing we want to let you know, in the description, you'll find a link to our technical analysis cheat sheet. So if you're not too versed on technical analysis, the ins and outs, we put together a solid cheat sheet for you that you can easily read the charts to give you better understanding of, how to make the best decisions for your investments, whether you're going short, long, dollar cost averaging, and everything in between. So check that out in the description. I think we'll wrap it up there. We'll see. We may touch that 17,000 low or break lower. So we'll see. Nick, why don't you close us out on YouTube? There we go. All right. See you later, guys.